and he raved about their spaghetti and pizza. Enough. They're telling me I'm out of time. I can't even use the rest of my, okay. Happy birthday, Faye D'Amico. There we go. All right, we have a guy coming on here now, and he shoots from the hip. This is John Hamels, and I will have him on as soon as we do our public service announcement. He's loaded for bear. Here you go, friends. This is for you.
George, it's a great deal. Only used a couple of times, and it gets great parsecs for very little dilithium crystals.
Well, I appreciate the offer, but what I really need is information about Social Security. How do I find out what my monthly payment will be?
Online.
How about if I just want Medicare?
Online.
Oh my. We'll boldly go to socialsecurity.gov.
Let's go kick the tires.
You'll be lucky if you can get anything out of these guys, though. They're just as tight-lipped as everybody else is about the medical for seniors that they're cutting away. John Hamels, Doc, you're on.
Good morning, Reed. How are you? Good morning, Fred. Welcome back. Hey, did you know who that guy was in the commercial?
Who?
That was Sulu from Star Trek.
No kidding.
Yeah, you know. Kirk would say, Sulu, you know, go to warp speed or whatever it was. He's back in the advertisements I've seen for a few others. So anyways.
Patty Duke was the other one. Yeah.
Patty Duke was in?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go, folks.
You didn't recognize her, huh?
No. Well, Reed, I just got back from Colorado. We had a wonderful trip up there, but I'll tell you, it's hot. I think I told you the other day, it was 102 at a couple different places, and it's dry. You know, it rains for about 30 minutes, and 24 minutes, it's gone again. It's totally evaporated.
They have some wildfires going there.
Oh, yeah. We saw a couple places along Kansas there.
The arid area.
Very much. They had a fire ban down there. But I brought a couple things here I wanted to show you, Reed, and let's do a little show and tell. And Donald, maybe you can help us zoom in on this. Okay, Reed, do you know what this is? I'm sure you know what this is.
Yes, that's a turkey, the thing that goes off, right, the beard of a turkey.
This is a red pine. Would you agree?
It's green pine.
Well, it's green pine or red pine. It's got needles, right?
Yeah.
Well, when I was in Colorado, I did a little activity, and I wanted to show you the next part. So this is a red pine. Everybody knows that's got needles. Now, very delicately, I don't know if Donald can zoom in on this or not, but do you know what this is?
That's a fossil.
Okay, but what is it?
It's a fossil of the red pine.
What's the difference between this and what I just held up? You know,
that one is graven in stone.
That's great. The difference is 34 million years.
There you go.
Significant, huh? Well, anyways, I was just going to tell you a little bit about a field trip that I took by myself up into Florissant, Colorado. And up there, they have a particular area that's just full of insect and plant fossils that were buried in what they call paper shale. And if any of you are out there old rock hounds, because I know a lot of us growing up, we were always into fossils. But up there, you can go up to a quarry for $10 an hour. They give you the tools. You sit down in the under a tree, hopefully, because it was hot that day, at 8,400 feet in above sea level. I know you're mile and a half. And you take a razor or whatever, and you slice this shell very slowly. And I found insects with still wings on them, 34 million years old. And they were saying some of these things don't even exist in the United States anymore, because when all the land masses kept moving in back and forth, a lot of these insects are no longer indigenous to America, but over in Indonesia and other continents. So it was kind of fascinating. But when you're out on the road, I like to find places out in the far corners and get those travel books out. So traveling can be a lot of fun. This doesn't have to be sit around a pool or whatever, but you can get a little dusty once in a while. And it was just drop dead gorgeous up there. If you haven't been to Colorado, wow, that's all I can say. But I'm glad to be back, because things over here are a lot greener and I can breathe a lot better. So anyways, also I was going to tell you, Reed, before I sign off here, that we're going to be playing this afternoon, my partner Bill and I. Doc and Bill show. We're going to be at the St. James Italian Festival. And you might say, well, you play Irish music. Well, that's true. The other parish, and I think it's St. John's, I can't remember, they've merged together. And to have proper representation of both parishes, they're going to have Italian activities and they're going to have Irish. So Bill and I are going to be playing from 12:30 to 2:30 under the big tent. And it's over in Jamestown, over on Allen Street. And if you all want to do something fun today, come on out and have a listen. Come on up and talk with us. We have a lot of fun when we play that music.
Okay, thanks a lot, Doc.
Have a good weekend, guys.
Yeah, you too. Don't forget the ox roast, the Fireman's Ox Roast in Westfield. So, that starts at noon. Goes on all day till 7.
All right.
All righty. We have a guest here who's used to the fact that he never gets on until about a half hour into the program. But Fred Crosscut, who gives up his Saturday mornings very generously so that the public can contact him. And this is an open program. It is now live on the air. Remember, this is Saturday the 9th. And you can call in anytime you want and ask Fred anything you want. And he will give you an immediate correct answer. If you need a loan, he will give you money. If you believe that, I have a bridge for you. Okay, at any rate, Fred Crosscut's going to be on and talking. And incidentally, if you want to call in, the number is 753-JACK, like jack your phone in, 753-JACK, or 5225 if you don't like to dial the letters. You'll get confused which letter it is. I do. Okay, at any rate, any caller who calls in today, I'm going to give you $5 off your dinner over at the Lakeview, and it's good forever. $5, just for calling in. And we also have a beautiful picture, which I'm going to show you a little later, from the Westfield Development Corp., and they said they would give this to anybody who would like to have a shot of Main Street in Westfield, New York, with a big park clock on it, which used to be attached to the telephone building, and it died of old age, I think. So they've got a very similar one up there, and it chimes, but they shut the chime down, I think, after a while. But at any rate, there it is. And this is a lovely painting which was done by Grover, and it's really terrific. If you want it, please call in. I'll give it to you for free, just for nothing. It's $20 normally, and it is a donation. I think we've got a shot of it here. If you want to take a look, there you go. It's kind of it's covered with a plastic and beautifully matted, and to protect it. And my cat sat on it, and he actually put his claws into the plastic. I can see his paw print there. But it didn't hurt the painting. That's yours, kids. Anybody wants it, just call in, and you've got to say the magic words, the clock, today. If you say the clock, you get this for free. Okay, now, Fred Crosscut, born and raised up here, right?
Yep.
Where were you born and raised?
I was born in Westfield in a hospital.
Okay, and raised?
Raised in Sherman.
In Sherman. Beautiful town, isn't that a beautiful town?
Nice little town.
Yeah, they have Sherman Days coming up, don't they?
August, first Saturday in August will be Sherman Days.
Sherman Days,
correct.
and they have everything. I mean, there's music, there's dancing, there's garage sales, the whole town is up for sale.
Oh, big deal. And we just, this past weekend, as you probably read in the paper, had the Blue Heron Festival, which is about 2 miles up the road from
Which has become a little more pricey than it used to be.
Yeah, probably it is, yeah. We had lots of traffic.
Yeah, it's a big deal now.
Oh, it certainly is a big deal.
Yeah. And I have some of my nieces go over to that. They love it. It's just a terrific weekend, you know.
Well, actually, my wife and I attended on Saturday evening. We hadn't been up in a couple of years, so it was interesting. The music was good, and the people were friendly.
Yeah, oh yeah, sure. It's terrific. All right, now, Fred, you recently, for all your life, for the most part, you were a dairy farmer, right? You raised cows?
Yes, I was a dairy farmer all my life, and I had an opportunity 2 years ago to sell my cows, which I did to a young man. And then this spring I had an offer on the farm, to sell the farm. And so we are in the process of building a house about a mile from where we live, and hope to be moved by sometime before December. And this way it'll let me have a little more free time to do my legislature job. And also, I will still keep my spray business, but as far as the cows, they'll be gone.
What business?
I have a custom application business where I go out and spray several thousand acres of corn.
Oh, you do corn? You spray corn?
Oh, yeah.
How about grapes?
We don't do grapes.
You don't do grapes. What do you spray on corn?
You spray herbicides to kill the weeds on most of the corn, practically all the corn. And then every now and then you do have to put pesticide spray on. For cutworm and stuff like this.
And how about, that's why you get a baker's dozen usually, because then you might get a worm anyway.
Well, you might, but you know, people don't like worms in their sweet corn, so we have to take care of that. And
Yeah,
and
I pick mine out. I don't eat them.
don't you? Well, people don't, but we do a lot of that, and so that'll give me more time to do that.
Uh-huh.
And we're looking forward to moving into a smaller house.
You spray fertilizers too.
Yeah, in the spring you spray liquid nitrogen.
So you put liquid nitrogen.
To make the grass grow. It's like a urea that you'd put on, except it's liquid.
You mean it's like going out and peeing in the corn, right?
Well, I wouldn't say that, Reed, but you
Urea.
you get urea on the grass to make it grow.
Okay, yeah. Well, you know, my grandpappy used to say, Reed, you know why the plants jump right out of the ground after rain? I said, what's that? He said, because you see lightning every once in a while, but that's only a tiny fraction of the electrical discharges going on up in the clouds. And every electrical discharge fixes nitrogen into the water, into the cloud. And when it rains, it comes down with nitrogen in it. And as you point out, nitrogen is literally the gold that plants need. And so suddenly your plants are jumping. You wonder why they're doing so well.
I just learned so much on this show.
Well, you know, if you use hose water, it doesn't do anything. As a matter of fact, it kills a lot of the bacteria because of the chlorine. But if you use just rainwater, ho.
But it is nice to have some moisture. A little shot yesterday morning didn't hurt a thing.
Right.
Because it is
didn't help
dry.
much either because I scratched the soil and just underneath the soil is dry.
But it's amazing with how wet it was in May.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
we had
it was unbelievable.
Well, that made the corn grow. Corn's knee high to a what is it?
Well, corn is knee high by the 4th of July. There's a lot of corn that is, but there's still some corn that is not because it was so late. We're probably 2 weeks behind with our plantings this year, and we're at least 2 weeks behind with our hay crop. So I'm still doing that this year, and it's been a challenge.
Yeah.
Been a real challenge.
Well, things have changed since I was a kid. We used to be paid 75 cents an hour to lift those great big bales with a hook. You had a hook, you dug in and threw them on the truck. And that was, by the time it got to the top, it was a lift, I'll tell you.
Well, it certainly was, but you know, there's still the Amish community still
built.
Does a lot of that today,
Yeah.
and it's amazing.
Well, you have to have several power tools to those giant rolls. What do they weigh, a ton or something?
Well, those round bales, yeah, they're about 700 pounds.
Yeah, they're huge, and of course they coat them in plastic, so you don't have to worry about a fire in your barn anymore because they leave them outside.
Well, the ones they keep outside they coat in plastic. A lot of farmers yet, like myself, put them in the barn.
Yeah, and you don't worry about the fact that it could burst into flame from spontaneous combustion, right?
Well, not so much because, all kidding aside, that hay has to be fully as dry as would be any other baled hay.
Okay.
You don't want to, because it'll mold, and you don't want that to happen either. You want to put up some good feed.
Right. And of course, you know, one of the big national concerns, and I would say one of the points of issue is the corn. Now, with world hunger and the cost of food and everything, corn is a staple, but they're burning it. They're using it for gasoline.
Well, that's a real controversy here among the agricultural industry.
Yeah.
You go into the grocery store now and buy a box of cornflakes. Ethanol has, as far as I'm concerned, was not something that we needed in this country.
No.
We have other ways of doing
Well, it costs more than the gasoline because the government has to put up a lot of dough.
It does, but corn is up around $8 a bushel now because of ethanol.
What was it?
And that is
10
why
years ago?
Oh, that was more like two and a
$2
quarter.
So it's jumped 5 times at least.
Right, but as you drive around this county, and many people in the viewing area know the amount of ground that has been put into corn this year, and a lot of that corn will be raised for ethanol. It's good for the corn grower, but you will see your food prices rise.
Continue to rise, and people starving to death because there is no food.
Well, we have to take care of our people in this country, and I think that's number one among the whole agriculture community, but you will see your food prices rise.
Well, you know, if everybody switched over to fluorescent lights, that would just about take care of the amount of fuel we need with ethanol in it.
Well, and you know, I think
That's a simple thing.
Well, I think wind power will be developed in this county before long. There's some benefits of solar power. So
solar power is the best in my book because it doesn't mess up the environment. We'll put it that way.
And I think there's also plenty of natural gas yet in this county.
Yes, we do, and we don't have to go through that process which destroys the entire environment. What do they call that? Where they go deep down and then they put water in and
the Marcellus Shale.
Yeah, whatever it is, that process is very, very dangerous to our environment because it throws a lot of bad things into our water supply.
You could be right. Until it's proven, I don't think they'll come out with that deep drilling of the Marcellus Shale yet.
I hope
There's a lot of push to do it, but by the same token, there's other alternative energies.
Sure, and there's regular gas. I mean, up here, bubbles out of the creeks.
Right, and a lot of us in the rural communities burn a lot of wood too, and now we're going to have a problem with that because of DEC. So.
Yeah.
I have a wood stove myself, and many.
So do
many
I, and
neighbors do.
I think the day will never come that they shut down your wood stoves.
Well, I would hope not, because wood is a renewable resource.
And it has less poisons in it. The carcinogenics, you know, when you burn gas or oil, especially oil, a lot of people burn oil to heat their house. There are over 1,000 different carcinogenic agents released from that oil. All you have is bad smelling smoke, or nice smelling smoke from your wood. And so the day will come when they try to shut